Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 116 of DevChatter. Today we are going to write some code together, as is our usual thing. Good afternoon everyone. We actually have a pull request that we're going to review. I should mention good afternoon, good evening, good day. Whatever time it is for you, hopefully you're having a good one. Today is a Thursday, so no special category of stream. It's not a solid Saturday. It's not a triacata on Tuesday. But we are still glad you are all here. Yes, there is some cool music. I don't know what your test is, but hey, welcome S&B, Ferris, Rexy, and Arcegis? Gonna guess? Arcegis? However I'm supposed to pronounce that, let me know and I will try to say it better next time. But welcome everybody. Hopefully you are all having a great day so far, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better with a bit of streaming. So, I guess before I jump too far in, we are going to take a look at this pull request first, because one of our viewers, Steph, was nice enough to send in an update to the pull request that he sent us earlier in the week. So we merged in his previous pull request, and now we're going to review this, which is a little bit of a change to how he did some of the code to make it a little bit better. So we'll take a look at that. We'll get that merged in, and then we'll get working on the code we're going to do today. For anyone who is new here, welcome. This channel here is DevChatter. So that's everything you see around me is DevChatter. My name is Brendan, right about there. And you can find me on the interwebs as @Brendonius. In addition, let me see if my Stream Deck buttons are working again. Yes, they're working again. If you are interested in chatting with any of us outside the stream, the best place to do that is to go over to our Discord. So Discord is a chat application that you can use to talk with me and other DevChatter people. Arcegis. Awesome. Yes, that is the nice thing, is even when someone messes up your name, you can usually figure it out. So I go by the name Brendonius on the internet, but I get a lot of people that'll say Brendonius, and I can figure out that they're talking about me. So glad to hear it. Thank you for giving me that heads up, Arcegis. Okay, so I did mention that we're going to take a look at a pull request to begin the stream, so the first thing I'm going to do is link to that GitHub repository where we store all the DevChatter code. It is out at github.com/devchatter, so you will find all the source code that we do here on the stream, except for things like if we went on to codewars.com or Coding Game or something like that, where our code's out there instead of being on here. And a lot of those do actually associate that code with my account, so if you wanted to find it, you could. Greetings, hey. Okay, so let's take a look at JSteph's code. Files changed. Here is the change that was sent in. So looks like there is a reference to some of our own extension methods. So he's going to use our equals insert right here. Equals insecure. Derp. Let's get that brain working. So the other thing I notice is a change to using an expression bodied member. So you'll notice he's using an arrow here to define that the right-hand side, the implementation of the method, is going to be a single expression, rather than using curly braces and having a standard method declaration here. So the previous code, if we look at it, what it did was it said, it took all the letters that the person had guessed, made them uppercase, compared that set of letters to the list of all letters, and if the letter was in the guessed letters, it left it in place. Otherwise, it used an underscore. Then it would rejoin that back together and return. Makes sense. I got it. Seems like there might be some extra steps there, so we kind of said, like, yeah, this is a little funky. The weird part that I had with this is, since he was using both the guessed letters and the all letters, it was hard to determine which one he was actually trying to display, and I was kind of like, wait, are we displaying the list of letters that have, you know, that are in the word, or are we just showing letters? And so we got a quick change here. The only So I like the way that he did this one. The only thing that could be a criticism here, which wouldn't come from me because I like this style, but someone else could certainly point out, is that we have both the string join and the, I'll call it masking, of the letters in the same code. So let's see, can we make this a little more obvious? If I go to line 44 on that file, we can see it right here. Okay, so this is a little bit clearer. So what he did is, he said string.join, but this is the variable that he's joining, is right here. So the highlight, I apologize that we lose color when I highlight like this, but he's taking all the letters and he's selecting on them and saying, if any letter is in the guessed letters, and he's using our insecure equals comparison to check it, then we are displaying it. Do we need to string that? What is it, equals? Oh, yes, because the letters are not strings, they're going to be characters when he pulls them out. That's an interesting challenge there. So, because guessed letters, I assume I kept as a string just for the sake of it, to make it easier with comparisons. Either way, I think that code is an improvement over what was there before, and I am not a stickler for needing to get everything perfect every single time. I think making an improvement to code is always a good thing. So that last piece is just white spacing change. Looks like he deleted a space there, added a couple of spaces there. I am good with that. I believe I already reviewed this, and I am going to merge in this code. Because why not? Looks good. So we're going to confirm that merge and bring on that code. So, woohoo! Master branch updated. And I am going to go ahead and fetch. Also, for anyone who doesn't recognize the UI that we're using here, this is actually called Github Desktop. It's GitHub's official graphical user interface for working with GitHub. Obviously, you can use any Git tool you want, but this one actually looks pretty nice. We've been using it on the stream here for the majority of our episodes. And we like it because it is clean, it is pretty easy for you guys to see, it doesn't have a whole bunch of confusing buttons on it where someone's going to be like, wait, what did Brendan just do? I think a lot of the options are pretty obvious. It's really easy to see the repository, the branch, and it has another cool feature, and that is that I can tab between the branches and the pull requests. So if I do want to check a pull request, pull it down, and run it, I can do it that way. And so that's one of my favorite parts of it. Okay, cool. And then we are going to jump into the code on the bot today. But before I do that, I do want to make sure that I mention to people that are here that we have a couple of guest streams coming up. We're going to have a guest with us pair programming on Saturday, and then one as well next Tuesday. So, should be a lot of fun. If you want to find that info, you can actually check all that out at our stream info page out on GitHub. Okay, so what are we doing today is, of course, the question. As I said, we are going to be working on our chatbot, and someone started up a Hangman game. That is part of what we're going to be working on today, S&B, so good job. I think I know the word, and let me give you guys a hint. There it is. You might find a shortcut to this one. And S&B got the word. Alright, yeah, we need to, at some point we need to get a new dictionary on that, because a lot of us know the words in our dictionary right now. Okay, so what are we looking for? We want to get the overlay.js for now. Because there's a couple of things that I want to get. Yes, S&B, that was a Lord of the Rings reference there. Okay. So the animation canvas, the Hangman canvas, the voting canvas, ModHub. So we made this Hangman canvas, and the Hangman canvas is actually what puts that Hangman game up above my head. I don't like that spot for it, so I want to move it. There's a couple of ways I can do this. I can either make it so that our code, where we draw on the Hangman game, which let me jump over to that, hangman.js, right here. So in this file, you'll notice that we draw all these things at these exact positions that we've specified, which we could yank that out and draw it differently or something like that. We could make it so that we can draw this relative by giving a starting point. So instead of starting, so the top left corner of the screen up there, yep, that way, that is 0, 0 for its XY coordinates. Obviously that is if we are drawing our rectangle up there. What I want to do, I think, our sieges, I don't think there's a way to throw the whole dictionary in there, and I don't think we'd want to. I think that'd make the game pretty darn difficult, but it would be nice if we maybe had, like, a way of pulling a dictionary out of, like, you know, the docs.microsoft.com website. If we could somehow get like a scraped version of all the words on there, but have it remove all the common ones, the thes, the ats, the a's, the ands, and all that stuff, so that we'd end up just with, like, hopefully domain terms. So that would be a cool trick. But here is the way I intend to solve this one, because we want to get this so that our Hangman game appears somewhere else. So let's take a look on the page, because I think we can do it from there. Let's see. How much space does Hangman take up? Where's our rectangle? There's our rectangle, so it goes down 300. Okay. So, Hangman canvas has a height of 300, and the top is at, what, 1080 minus 300, so, yep, derp, 780. I don't know why I did that. Shh, quiet. Its left point, where do we want to put that? Maybe... It's a good question. 200 left to center, maybe? So, Ferris, yes, we could use, I think you meant sprites, not spirits, I think. We could do something like that. So, let's make sure we don't mess this one up. So, 1920. So, we're going to divide that by 2. We are going to subtract, say, 200 to be left of center. And 760 is what we're saying is the starting point. So 760, and we are saying 1920 minus 760. So 760, and it's 1160. So 760 and 1160 for now. So there we go. What is this? Is there a way to compile? No. Aren't the coordinates in a canvas relative to the canvas? And you could reposition and keep them the same? Art! Yes! Exactly! That is precisely what we're doing. So we are just we're just moving the canvas to a new spot. Yep, you got it. So that was what I was going to do to get these into the right place to begin with. And what I want to do is I want to make these values configurable from the database, because we create these canvases on a page that is a Razor page. We're not doing static HTML, so we can just come out of the database with these values and just load up immediately with our canvas in the right place. So I think that is an awesome trick. Let me go ahead and I'm going to refresh the overlay that we've got on here, because that should automatically update with this change. Did that reload? Okay. I didn't have the canvas running, did I? Yes, I did. Derp. Hang on. Looks like it worked. Are you kidding me? I was trying to fail, and it turns out the word is XUnit. Game over. Okay, so there's our first problem. Game over is not displaying right. So we're going to have to figure that one out. Maybe instead of game over triggering the word game over, we're just going to have it trigger the derp like it used to. So maybe we'll have that happen. Although that really should be part of messaging, so maybe that's the way we'll solve it. So game over doesn't display right, but everything else seemed good. Let's try that again. So we'll start up a game of Hangman. Hey, there we go. Maybe we'll shift that further to the left. So I only did 200 off of center. So to the left, we will say another 200 pixels. So that'll be 500 off the left. And then width will be like that. I just realized this is the best way to fail quickly. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this page. We'll start up another game. And then that should be good. There we go. Now we got it. All right. Derp. Let's see. Can we die off of just numbers instead of letters because we're dumb? Game over. Okay, cool. So that'll end that. All right. I wanted to do a little bit of cleanup today, so that does that nicely. Move Hangman Game to bottom. All right. So some people had complained previously about the Hangman Game being in a bad spot. So overlay positions. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, exactly. You hit it precisely, S&B. We can shrink down the font for that, but here's what I want to do now. I want to start making this actually configurable. So some way for people to place these where they want them to be. So the width and height right now, I set based on, going all the way to the edge of the screen. But we probably don't want to do that. We probably just want to set the Hangman space. So the question is this. How much space do we want to give it? Maybe 600 wide? So we'll give it a width of 600. So the top is 780, left is further. Okay. There we go. Not bad. Let's pull these out of the database. So these need to be some kind of overlay options is what I'm thinking. Because my thought here is that that this data will get pulled out of the database, and I'm thinking a row for each canvas position. So maybe like key-based. So maybe something similar to our command settings. That's kind of what's going through my head here as we talk about this. Twitch Love, hey, greetings. And Ivelo Yovkov, hey, welcome. Yeah, so this is a stream where we work on a variety of projects, actually, so welcome. Glad you're here. Most of what we do is C# and JavaScript, as you can probably tell from the title. What we're working on right now is actually our chatbot, and I call it a chatbot despite the fact that it's really a website. It started out as a console application that we just used. It communicates in the chat. You can go ahead and say hello to it. It's right there. And one of the things it does is it puts overlays on top of this screen. So we actually have a full page taking up the full screen that you're seeing the stream on. all 1920 by 1080 of what's here, and we can position stuff on there and do interesting things with it. One of the things that we have is a game of Hangman that we can play here in the chat room, and it appears right there, and that's how it works. Appearing right there is new. So, make Hangman Game less wide. Yeah, that looks like it still fits, I think. Or did we exceed it? I can't tell if we exceeded that canvas. I think we did, actually. Huh. Awesome. Glad to hear it. So make Hangman Game less... so let's see if we can't shift some of this into the database. That way anybody else that runs this bot can decide to position it elsewhere. And actually, I love the fact that that view of the Hangman Game takes up a lot less space on the screen as a whole, because what it's occupying is largely not all that important. Oh, I know what the word is. Let me give you guys a hint. There. Did that make it any easier, Wheatlall? I recommend buying a vowel, if you still don't know it. Just don't buy an E. Oh, S&B got it. There you go. Okay. So let's see if we can't pull these out as database settings. So, step one, let's figure out how we want these database settings to work and how we want to access them. Thanks for that follow, by the way. So, if we take a look, our page right here has a bound object in our page model. So this page model is actually bound to that C#, like CSHTML file. Hey Mark, welcome. Yes, Wheatlow, you would not have guessed Visual Studio. Okay, so here is the bound stuff. For starters, we could do this. We could do individual values, and we could say something along the lines of, you know, Hangman canvas width, right? I don't like that approach. That is not the way that I want to go. If anything, I would want to have a whole class. So we're doing a little bit of design discussion on this. So feel free to chime in with your suggestions for how you want this, how you think we should set this up. Alternately, we could go this way and make a canvas dimensions class struct, doesn't really matter. But essentially we would then just have values where this was like width, and we could say height, and top left. Actually, I meant to say top. So that'd be like top Y. Int left X, right? So we could do something like that where we figure out, you know, the dimensions like this, and we could either store this as a whole setting altogether, and essentially have this be like canvas dimensions that we would use for each one of these, spread them out. And it's really a question of how we want to do this. So if we go this route, then this is a very structured set of settings that we store in the database. We probably have a table that is specifically these values, and then this would be how we would set it up. Twitchloff, in domain models and DTOs, do I prefer IEnumerable, IList, or list? If I have a collection of items, I tend to like to keep them as the list. There's an argument to be made for making it an iList, but in general my rule is if I'm making something available to someone else and I know that it's always going to be an in-memory collection and not something that is generated at runtime, then I would use then I avoid the IEnumerable, for example. So yeah, as Wheatlall says, you could use an iCollection or an iList. Those would both satisfy what I would want. So the ones I would consider acceptable for a DTO or a domain model is iCollection, iList, and I also accept list. I'm a little more flexible on that one than it sounds like Wheatlall is there. And the reason why is a lot of the points of avoiding these concepts of like, oh, we want to depend on an abstract or something like that. I consider a list to be so inherently native to the language that I don't worry about it. Kind of like I don't worry about depending on a string, for example. And yes, FuelSnable mentions there are other things like you might want some kind of a read-only collection as well. So there are those as well to consider, and it depends on the circumstances of what your object is. But yes, FuelSnable is right. A lot of times when you have that domain model, you want to have it be an immutable collection, because a lot of times you have internal methods and functions that will manipulate it, and you don't want external things modifying it. With the DTO, I'm a lot less worried about that because I'm just usually transferring to something else. It's getting, with a DTO, for example, we're usually serializing it into JSON or XML or something like that and sending it over to the pipe to something else. So it really doesn't matter what the type is, you're using it for so little. Yeah, so that, as Wheatlall mentions, the advantages you get over a list over an iList is basically zero. So that's why I consider the list and the iList to be pretty much the same. The one exception, I believe, Wheatlall, is an add range method. So if you need add range, then list is better than an iList. I think that's the only case that an iList doesn't have that's like one of the big, like, common pieces of functionality. And yeah, Renee mentions the iRead-only. So you can definitely go that route. It's not necessary on a DTO, for example, because you're just transferring it to do that anyway. So with a DTO, I just don't worry about it at all, because you're not using it for anything. So I'm not worried about someone I'm passing it to manipulating it. And the way I feel is that if the logic to serialize it or something like that needs to manipulate, I don't care. Go for it. It's doing a different job. It's not like the transfer of an object is not the domain of my program. And FuelSnable is correct. For the majority of programs that we write, thank you, Twitchloff. You're welcome for the answer. FuelSnable's comment there is actually very, very true, and a lot of developers need to remember that. For most of us, the only performance requirement that we actually have is that our code is not bad. We just want our performance to not be bad. And that's about it. Okay, so I think, for now, we're going to create something like this to store our data. Obviously, we could do the key value pair style approach where we just have a value and something else, but I think I want to go this route because I think we'll have enough stuff positioned on pages, and I'm expecting at some point we're going to need a nice way of helping people to maneuver those, and I think having actual objects for them and not, not being too abstract with it, I think that's going to help us later. So let's go ahead and figure out what we want to call this. Naming things, hardest part of our job. I'm going to leave it as canvas dimensions for now, and we'll fix that when we get to it. Because it's not really just dimensions, because it's like canvas positioning and dimensions both. Almost canvas settings. Alright, bot. Ooh, canvas properties, I like it. There you go. See, it's not canvas settings, it's canvas properties. Width, height, top, left. Anything else we can do with it? They all need to be, so with all of them I think they pretty much need to be absolutely positioned. There's nothing we can do about that. So I guess in theory someone might hide and show one. So let's figure out which... So we need to define which one they're going to apply to. So this could either be the ID or the name or something like that. So I think we'll go with that. So canvas ID. Hang on, I will see. Thank you for the biddies, by the way. I will see who sent them and what the message was once I finish this. I don't want to break my train of thought right now. So yes, the ID like Hangman, Canvas, and whatnot. Okay, cool. Sourceify! Awesome, thank you for the biddies. Much appreciated. There was no message. How is canvas dimensions different from a standard rectangle? Will other items be added? Renee, yes, I do believe we will have other values added at some point. So, one of them, for example, is probably going to be an enable, disable, whether we're hiding or showing it, because some people might want to turn off one of the canvases for one reason or another. This is going to be the properties that it gets when the application runs. One thing that we're going to need to figure out is we're going to need SignalR to be able to send a message down to tell them to turn on or off or something like that if someone wants to be able to change that at runtime. But yes, how is canvas dimensions different from a standard rectangle? And yeah, I guess this is just a standard rectangle, but specifically we're trying to position them on a page. So if there were some kind of a rectangle type object that we could store in the database that you're maybe referring to, Renee, then I would be totally cool with that. Okay, so let's start opening that up. Updated context. There we go. Because I would not complain about having better ways of accessing this. Better ways of dealing with all of that. Okay. Oh, one thing I need to do, actually, that I just realized. App data context. I need to do this. The canvas properties, canvas ID is unique. There we go. That's the change I needed to make. So, Rush Lake Cons, welcome, thanks for following. Oh, yeah, Renee, yes, data storage, yep, that is correct. Sirlash, good morning. I assume Sirlash must be west of me. I did not know that, but now I suspect it. Okay, so that ought to work. Let's make that a table that exists. So overlay positions. So we're gonna do that. Wait, what? What was that? Okay, no, bad. No. Don't commit that, Brendan. Alright, so we create that object, put it in there. Now, many of you know the way that I like to make my changes to the database using Entity Framework migrations is I first do a migration where I just call it test. So I'm going to say add migration test. And the reason I do that is because that gives me the chance to see what it was going to do. So for example, if I did something else in my code and hadn't realized that I'd made a change that would cause a database migration, I don't want to accidentally commit something that I didn't intend. So I want to take a look at it, and I do that with a test one with the intention that I'm going to discard these changes and do them again with a better name. So first off, I'm going to grab this, rename, copy that, paste that in, and then that will get me my migration. Yeah, see, there you go, Sirlash. You said good morning, and I said good afternoon to everybody, and I know a bunch of people in here then responded with good evening. So yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is for you, night, doesn't matter. We're glad you're here and enjoying this with us. So drop, so we apparently had gotten rid of his primary and not made that change. So hey Coder, welcome. So what that tells me is this: I want to make that change first, because I don't want this coming in. That's a separate migration, and I don't want that to confuse me or anyone else later. So step one, we're going to get rid of that. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to take those 3 bits of code and we're going to discard them. So that is not happening anymore. Then this is the change that causes the database issue right here. So I am going to commit this, and we're going to switch back to the master branch and send up that fix, because we noticed something that needs to change. So if you're ever writing code, don't be afraid to stop, jump back to the master branch, make a quick change, and then bring it back into your code. Have I committed much to this? No, not much at all. Let's see, so adding a canvas dimensions model object. Okay, so we're going to commit that. I'm going to push it, although hilariously I'm going to overwrite that push anyway, not worried about it. Okay, we're jumping back to the master branch for a second. Fuel Snable, yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that still plagues developers today is database change management. It is not as nice as many of us think that it can and very much should be at this point. So I agree with you, Fuel Snable. Stash it. I really need it done. No, Sirlash. I'm not going to stash it. So we have some other changes, so I'm already going to have to rebase. So stashing it has no point, because I debated committing it separately anyway. So no big deal. Okay, so we are back on the master branch. And I am going to run this again. Now, again, still as the name test. The reason being that we want to see what this change is. So we're saying this was an outstanding change that was here that we'd left in place, which we want to drop the isPrimary column. So that's what we are saying. So let's go ahead and try that, and then we'll commit this code. So discard that. We're going to say remove isPrimary. You guys can't see that, it's behind my head, sorry about that. Remove isPrimary from command words table. Okay, so now when I run this, we should actually see what it is. And I see a bunch of stuff happening in chat. I will check that in a moment. Remove isPrimary from command words table. That drops the column, that drops that. That adds it back in. We're not going to do a down migration, so we don't really have to worry about that part too much, but it figured out what it was. We're not committing that onto the master branch. We are going to call this one remove isPrimary column. New branch. Create. Remove the isPrimary column, and if someone is yelling at me to do something before I commit this, then I'll just undo the commit and take a look. Okay, They were nice in the programs from the 90s. Neat. Do you use Liquibase or an equivalent for schema changes? No, I'm not here, Code Error. We are using just the EF migrations. Looks like they broke Twitch with the new redesign. Yes, so they changed it so there's a bunch of different categories for things. We, I believe, are streaming as a programming game still here on the channel. If that's not the case, let me know and I will fix that. But that's what we should be under. I believe they kept the programming category. We need to do some other things with tags as well. So they changed a bunch of stuff on Twitch for anyone who is wondering. We're going to do a bunch of changes to our channel based on that to try and make sure that things are good and the experience is nice for all of you and easy to find other stuff. I'm hoping that their change is actually going to make it so that programming streamers stop streaming in the creative category. That actually really bothered me because they created that programming category for us and people kept going, but creative's got more people in it, so I want to be over there. And I'm like, well, yeah, but then it's hard for me to find programming stuff because I have to search in creative and in programming. Can't we just all shift into programming? We'll get more that way. And then I'm hoping through tags and things like that that we'll be able to find the way of, like the previous way of searching through creative that people liked. We'll see if that fixes it or not. Sure needs some special handling for column splitting, but dropping columns is automatic. My theory of computer science being a regressive science. Nice, Fuel Snable. Yes, we're clearly going to get punch cards soon. And yes, Fuel Snable, as Cyrilash says, feel free to build better stuff. You're welcome. I will say, there are definitely some problems with what Twitch changed, but I am hopeful that in total we will get an improvement based on this. That is the goal, at least. Let me jump over to GitHub, and we are going to pull request this in. So, remove is primary. We're going to PR that into the master branch coming from the is primary branch right there. Remove the is primary column, and we are going to create this pull request. And there we go. Pull request in. We're going to let this spin, so you'll notice right here we have a couple of checks that it's going to do. That's just our CI service is going to make sure everything's good. The annoyance is that because I always have it check every branch so I can check the status of whether or not it worked even before we create the pull request, that does mean that it's stupidly going to do both. I kind of want to tell it, hey, once there's a PR one you're doing, don't do the branch one anymore, but I can't stop it, so it's going to do that. So we'll just wait for it, and it'll be fine. Let's continue on with our other code by doing one of these. I am going to update the database. No, I need to rebase onto that. So I could rebase onto the branch that fixes the missing migration. I could do that. I just tried to open up my Git shield. I doubled the E instead of the L. That was dumb. Let's see, CD DevChatter on the stream. There we go. Remove his primary column is the one we're on, so git checkout. What was that branch we were on moments ago? Overlay positions. There we go. So git status. So we're on overlay positions, and I apologize if anybody's scared by the git command line. A lot of people do not use the command line stuff, but I like it. Sorry, Janisco, I have it turned off right now, but and it's especially good to have it turned off while yeah. It's especially a good idea to have the bot turned off while I rebase branches, because that will mess it up, I'm sure. Git rebase, and I'm going to rebase onto remove is primary column. right? Yes. Now, a lot of people will notice that one thing I do is I will force push onto my own branches, and there's a reason for that. When I use my naming convention for my Git repositories, one of the things I use within the repository is I use special branch naming. Yes, Cyrilash, I actually am okay with it on this one, and here's the reason why. I would be okay with making any modifications to a local branch that is just on my computer. For example, I do not mind doing a git commit amend where I maybe add in a file I was missing or something like that. And the reason I'm okay with that is any branch that I name with you know, my name as the prefix here, I consider that to be a branch that is local to my computer. And even if I push that out somewhere else, I still consider that local to my computer. If I want to make something available to the team, I don't prefix it with my name, I prefix it with a related feature. So for example, any of the branches that are intended for more than just me to work on that are based on our mud object, I will do just mud and then the name, for example. And I do that whether I am a lone developer working on a project or whether I have an entire team. And the reason I do that is because it's very clear which ones other people should be messing with. So the idea is you don't pull code, you don't rely on code that has someone's name on it unless you've talked with them first, which means they are free to force push their own branch all day long. It doesn't matter. So that is the reason why. That branch is considered disposable, right? That's just your own stuff. That's your own code. You can delete your own working copy and it doesn't matter. So, yep, that is why. Okay, so let's continue on with this. So now, when I do my add migration test, just like we did moments ago, we could actually do something like that, guys. That's a good point. Let's see if we can knock that out today, S&B. We can do a visual indicator of whether or not the bot is currently running, and we could do that actually on the page by putting it down below this cursor. So see where my cursor is? If we put that down below it, like right next to the chat down here, that would be a great way to tell people that the bot is running. Yeah, S&B, I will totally get that set up. Git seems so powerful, but the rebasing and merge branches still confuses me. Renee, I am planning on doing a stream at some point, either a stream or a pre-recorded video where I really go in depth on explaining how Git actually works. There are some awesome visuals that I can show that help people understand that. Many of you don't know, I actually did I did one of the original Git courses on Pluralsight actually a bunch of years ago. It's actually, mine was the one that was focused on using GitHub and not just Git itself, so we did some command line and some Git GUI stuff. We also explained some things about how to work on GitHub. It was a very interesting one. I might do some updates for that at some point, but I do want to do a stream sometime soon where I show you some of that stuff, because my favorite description of branches is describing them as, so those labels that I'm using whenever I create a branch, so benric/overlay positions, one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that is not like a thing. There is no branch per se. There's not like a set of code, right? That's not it. That is just a pointer. So that's the neat thing about it. That's one of the biggest things that I think loses a lot of people, is that they don't know that concept. And we'll look at that. I'm going to do a stream about it at some point, and we will see how it works. And yes, Renee, the best way to do it is to start messing around with it, but there's actually some additional tools to show it. So there's some tools that can help visualize it. And I think that might be what S&B is talking about. So, Cyrilash, have a good one. We'll see you when you get back. Okay, so We just ran this for a test migration, and here's what it gave us. Let's see. It gave us canvas properties, which is a table. It has a primary key that's an ID that we're not too worried about. I really wish I had done integer IDs instead of GUIDs, but yeah, win some, you lose some. Canvas ID is a string. Why is it nullable? I don't want it to be nullable, but and we created an index on it saying that canvas ID is not null and has to be there. Okay, so I like what's there. Oh, hang on, Mike. I'm gonna solve that problem for you. Congratulations, Mike. All right, Mike, you can link now. There we go. Oh, you're referring to Jeff's constant battles with Git. So one of the things that I will actually mention related to Git, and it's actually one of the reasons why I recommend that people actually learn how Git works and not just how to work with Git. Some of the smartest developers that I have ever met, I won't mention names, but they're developers that you guys, a lot of the people in this channel have heard of. Mike Eaton knows them personally, but there is a pair of very smart developers that I know, like big name developers, that were working on a project at one point, and they asked me for help with Git after they completely destroyed their Git repository and lost months worth of work. So yeah. It was an interesting one. So I will tell you, like, it does not matter how, like, I mean, you can be, like, seriously the top of your field and still mess something up so bad in Git that it's like, no, those files are, like, gone. Like, recover files on your computer, maybe if you're lucky. Like, why didn't you come to me with this sooner? Like, there's sometimes recoverable a lot of stuff. Like, okay, this is awesome. So, yep, it's quite good. Okay, so where was I? Right here. We are going to discard those changes. We're going to get the correct names for these things. So we are adding a new table. Add table. No, it's, what is this? Canvas properties table. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I hope I don't do, like, that level of mistake on the stream at some point, but we all know that we are all capable of it, and so that's one of the things that I won't, like, our field has a lot of people with imposter syndrome. It's very common among developers, so I will tell you that, never feel bad when you make a terrible mistake. Some of the smartest people in our field make them. So, we all make those mistakes. Okay. Yes, thank you for providing that link, Mike. Strangely, I saw the link in your first mission. Oh, really? That's weird. Tygo 100, hello. Entity01, hello. Welcome. Glad everybody's here today. Hopefully having a good time. So we want to move this object into here. Once we do that, we're going to set up our visual indicator of whether or not the bot is live. I want to click on this. Learn Git branching. Oh, that's awesome. It's another one of these. What? I don't want to do that right now, but that's cool. I like it. What was the other one? Git immersion? Oh, very cool. So another one that digs in. Awesome. All right, let's merge this pull request because it should have worked. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that column, and then we are gonna jump back over here. This. I like those changes. Those should work. They're not perfect, but they are close enough. So here's what we're gonna do. Update database. Whoops. Project. Sorry you guys can't see the text behind my head right now. I'll lift that up so you can see it. Here's what we're doing. Because I have this code in a separate project, I have to do one of these and tell Entity Framework when I do any commands with it, where those are. Oh, it doesn't exist. That's funny. So it failed to run it. It failed to drop a column because it already didn't exist. That probably has to do with the fact that we migrated off of this, switched back, and ran it. Let's run the code and confirm that it's working. So this will be the best way. What are we making? We are alter column failed because its primary does not exist on the table command words. Yeah, we're dropping it. Alright, I'll read that in a second. I'm going to answer those quick questions that are in chat. We are working on some improvements to our stream overlay stuff. The question of am I a developer or a streamer is the short answer both. I stream about 4 times a week on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for 2 to 3 hours usually, most streams, and my day job is as a software developer. So yeah, so both a developer and a streamer. I've been a professional developer for quite a long time, and I've been coding for a good deal longer. I'm one of those people that was coding as a kid. I am a second-generation software developer, actually. Yeah, version control needs some knowledge of the internals. It still surprises me how a few developers I know are completely unaware of branches. Yes, Renee, you will run into developers that don't use branches. It is terrifying. You are a programmer for your work right now. Yes, I am a professional software developer. Have been for a good long time. Thoughts and opinions on Rust. Rust is a new awesome thing, and I have not actually used it for anything production yet, so Rust is, as far as I'm concerned, untested in a production environment for me personally, but by many others they seem to be having a lot of success with it, so I am interested in actually trying it on something real at some point. So there's my like short answer on that one. Yes, exactly. Branching in Git is so easy because you're not really doing anything. That's the coolest part about it. Okay, let's see. Alter table failed because is primary doesn't exist on command words table. Lies. Lies. Okay, that's true. It's not on the table. Hang on. Let me check something real fast. I have a sneaking suspicion that something got borked somewhere and we're in a weird place because of it. Hang on. Whoa. Well, that got weird. I forgot it did that. Okay, that is my mistake. Whoa, that's a weird one. We're gonna do this then. I don't know if you guys just saw what that is, but oh, that is weird. Yeah, that one's a derp right there. That is some truth in the derp sense there. So let's go ahead. We're going to fetch this. Pull that down. We are going to remove these. Now we're going to try to run it. That is no problem, Tygo. It will make more sense. Okay, so that fixes the issue. So I think this is what is wrong. I think what happened is that the... I think somehow our... what's it called? Our model snapshot did not update correctly when the migrator was creating the migration for the removal of the is primary command, and so is primary column, and when that column got removed, it did not actually get rid of it off of there, so the second migration still found it. It said it was still there, even though we'd already migrated it away. So I think the snapshot got out of date, and that's what this is. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to remove the unneeded migrations. And I'm going to take a look at a comparison and see if that's correct. So, Henrik, fix migration issues. So that got forked somehow. I don't know how. Don't know what that one was, but we're gonna find out. That was a weird one. This is going to be fix migration issue. Send that in. Whoa, man, I don't even know what that was. Yes, as S&B mentioned, our Learn to Code streams here are a great way to learn about C#. And I will be scheduling new ones, so if you click on that link and find that there aren't any future ones, that's just because I haven't scheduled them yet. So there's a little bit of weirdness with our schedule coming up, because I do have a couple of canceled ones, canceled streams that we have coming up. But then once we get that sorted out, we will be back to having some more Learn to Code and C# streams, as well as our solid Saturday streams, which should also be good. I want to be a pro at JavaScript and PHP first. Oh, yeah, awesome. Oh, you started programming like 6 months ago. Congratulations, welcome. Yeah, there are a lot of great languages out there, so I do recommend, especially as you're starting things, look at a handful of languages, pick some that you like, and learn more about them. I recommend to most developers that you want to know more than one language, but I would also recommend, especially early on, really deep dive into one so you can learn it really well, because that then can become your base for looking for other things in other languages and how they do them. If you didn't really dig into the meat of a language yet, then you don't know necessarily the other things to look for in other languages. And yeah, JSteph, usually what I do is, as I mentioned, that's why I run the extra one at the beginning. This time when I noticed the migration, it's really just my fault for not having run it. That was my problem there, JSteph. So, okay, anyway. So once that goes through, we will merge that one in, and all will be well again. But until it does, because I know that's going to be a problem. What the? Why did it print it out twice? Derp. Okay. Now when I run the bot again, we should have things fixed. Let me catch up on chat real fast. Are the C# docs that Microsoft provide a good start to get into that language. Entity01, the C# docs are actually very good. So the new ones are all stored in Git, and they're actually pretty darn nice. So I do recommend them if you're interested in learning that. Actually, where is it? Is it try dot... Hang on. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the Microsoft docs are actually getting a lot better. And it is hard to learn a language from the docs, I would agree. But the docs are definitely getting better. So yes, we are creating a text adventure in this chat bot that we have here. It's one of our long-running projects that we want to do. So if you are interested in learning C#, this is one good place to do it. Probably our next Learn to Code in C# stream, we will run in here a little bit just so we can show this to people. But if you run this code, for example, it really does run C# code. It's kind of fun. So really neat stuff that they've got there. Okay, so this, the bot's running, right? I didn't actually check. Okay, good. So we are back and going again. The branch worked, which means the PR is going to work and I can merge it in. Alright. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Yes, that was the Fibonacci sequence in that test code there. Okay, so obviously I've not created the pages yet to modify this data. We can actually probably just get away with doing that real fast, so let's do that. It's not a command, it's not a game, it's not a schedule. This is... I almost want to call this like manage overlays or something. So manage overlays is what it's going to be called, and we are going to add in a razor page for it using the CRUD option here. So if you haven't seen this, it's going to scaffold out some code for me, and we're going to use, what was that thing called? Canvas properties? Canvas properties, right there. We'll use that data context class. We want to use a layout. Let's go ahead and add this. Binary Logics, hey, welcome. For this one, we are going to let this scaffold out our stuff here. I'm going to kill the bot because as we actually edit things inside of the web project, every single time it saves, it's like, oh hey, I need to restart that. I need to restart that. So the bot is going to just chime in and say like, hello world, hello world. So every time we modify a file inside of the web project, it does that. So when we're editing in here, I have to shut the bot off. So sorry about that. If we're working in other projects, I can usually get away with not having it on, because it won't reset every time we do something then. Let me just go ahead and delete that, so we can make that a using. There we go, much better. Okay. So this should let me, actually, why am I even doing it that way? Close all documents, thank you. Okay, so that's manage overlay. Where do we want to edit this from? Great question. If program does not equal true, program equals true. Exactly. Alright, so the bot's back in here. Manage command, manage games. We'll make manage overlay for now, but we really got to figure out our page here a little bit. So I'm going to go into Shared and Layout, and this is where the navigation is on our app. And I am going to make Manage Overlay. And this is going to be here. So instead of Games Index, it's going to be Manage Overlay Index, and that's where it's going to take us. So when I do that and I refresh this page, it should show up there, and there it is. SQL exception, invalid object name, canvas properties? Really? It should have run that. Oh! Hype! Yes, all of our stuff is open source here. Everything we do on this stream is open source. It did not make our canvas properties table. Did I not commit that change? It's not the one before this. Oh, I didn't actually include that one. Whoopsies. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna open this up. And we are going to add migration, add the canvas properties table. And then we're going to add these pieces that we've got here. Yep, there's the table. So there is that. Add migration for canvas properties. So there's that migration, and now we're going to add these. So let me kill the bot. Goodbye, bot. Yes. We're going to start it again. Console right line. Hello, chat. Hey, Daddy075. So we actually do support people using this code, so if you want, we highly recommend that you fork your code and send back pull requests for anything that you change. So all of it's out on GitHub. Take a look. That is the reason it is there. This is supposed to be a collaborative project, so especially among anyone else who is a programming streamer. So if you're planning on doing a programming stream, I highly recommend you do this, because one of the things that a lot of us want is essentially to be able to have an open source like project that we can work on to promote to help us run our channels, and that is one of the big things that the bot is intended to do. And so if we get more developers working on it, we can do some really, really amazing stuff with it. Okay, so this is the table that we have set up. Obviously, we need a set of canvases to exist here that we're going to create based on. So, let's go ahead and grab those. Canvas, no, not canvas, overlay.cshtml. There's my page. Step number 1, canvas. Canvas ID, width of 600, height of 300, top is, and left is that. We will create that row. So there we go. I actually want to create this by default. So let's go to our, we can manage them here now, but then we want these to get created right off the bat. So let's go to set up database. So we have a class that runs when our bot starts that makes sure that our database has all the default values that it needs. So that's actually where we're going to go here. Yeah, that seems like a really dangerous idea. Giving everyone a sub for a year just seems risky. I have a feeling Twitch would figure it out when they watched our stream and saw what we did. Okay, so ensure initial data, that's where we want to be. So let's say this is canvas properties. So if there aren't any canvas properties, then we want to get initial canvas properties. This is not a data entity, this is a canvas properties object. And we want to return a new, derp. It's a list of those, Brendan, it's a list of those. New list of canvas properties. And we'll call it that. Properties is. Hey, Crimson Green, welcome. Is this using the Twitch API? Entity01, yes, we are connected to the Twitch API, though in the next month or so, we are going to be doing a major change to how our bot interacts with Twitch. We're going to do a significant upgrade. We are going to move from the V5 API to the Helix API, so that will be one big change we have planned coming up regarding the Twitch API. So I'm hoping everybody makes it out for that. It should be quite fun. And sorry about the bot spam in the chat, I just killed it again, so it will stop saying hello world when it arrives. As I mentioned, anytime I change any of the classes that exist within the web project itself, the bot restarts, and so that's why it had said hello 3 times there. 4 times? 4 times. So yes, welcome back, Cyrilash, and that is the plan, Iliya1. I'm glad it sounds fun. If anybody else thinks it sounds fun, make sure you hit that follow button so you get notified when our stream goes live. We do stream 4 times a week, so make sure you're here for those. Let's actually just create this as a collection, since we're just hard coding the initial set of data. So these are the default values, and it's those right there. So canvas ID. There we go. And height is 300. Width is 600. Top, we're going to check here. Top on this is 780. And this is actually just what we figured out for our channel that works. Someone else might use a different set, and they would then be able to shift this around as needed. Now, what I want to do is not have these be values that we set here or even set the way we do on that page. The plan that I want to do is make a visual and just have like a big rectangle, have rectangles that you drag and drop on the page, and we can record that data, send it back up to the server to put it in the right spot. Sourcify, thank you for those 100 biddies. Much appreciated as always. Glad you are enjoying the stream. Hope everybody else is enjoying the stream as well. Animation, right there. Voting, right there. And this one, so animation canvas is going to take up the entire thing. So its height is going to be 1080, its width is going to be 1920. I could restrict where the animation fit in, for example, once I start doing that. So the top Y is 0 and top X is 0. So we're going to position that up in the top left corner. We are all bots, yes. All of us are bots. Oh, Darius H. Hey, Lake DK. Hello, hello, welcome. Start over? Unlikely, but we can make sure that that no one is left out and understands what we're doing. So we just created some new objects. This is going to be our default set of data that we're going to use. People are welcome to adjust these, move them around as they need. But this is a few model objects that we're going to use to store data in our database to begin with. So that is step 1 right here. since that table is, I didn't fill a record in, did I? Ooh, I did fill one in. Let me go ahead and empty that back out. So we're gonna get rid of that record. Oh, I killed the bot. I can't get rid of that record once I kill the bot. Come on, Brendan. You know how this works. Refresh. And canvas properties right here. View data. Let me delete this, and then when I start up this bot, it should fill in those records. So let's find out if it does. If we didn't derp something, we should end up with 3 new rows in this table, which we'll check like so. So there they are. Perfect. Next thing that we want to do, I'm going to kill the bot again, just so it does not cause it. Oh, yeah, so the bot's here. Oh, whoops, that didn't reconnect yet. Well, that's going to be wonky. Sorry, everybody. That won't be fixed yet. Okay, so here is what we have. On the overlay CS.html page, I want to do this. I want to open up the CS file. Back here, I want to add something to the constructor. So we're going to, for now, just pull in the repository. Repository. So this has all of the information that we need access to in our database. And what I'm going to do on get is this. I am going to list all of the canvas properties. The canvas properties is, we love those. Canvases. And what I want to do is this. I want to make a list here, up there or down here? We'll put it here. List of canvas properties. Canvas properties. Maybe we'll just call canvases. We'll call that canvases. So when we get this page, we're going to grab the canvases out of the database and go to the CS.html. I apologize, I clicked save like 3 times. The bot's about to say hi like 3 times. I apologize about that, everybody. I did that without thinking. Every time I click save, it says hello. At least you know how many times I clicked save right there. Not that I'm crazy or anything. I admit it, I'm crazy. I click save way too often. Okay, why did that break the div so much? Why did that do that? Tabbing's being weird. Also, hello, welcome. I didn't catch who that was that followed. I heard one, but I didn't see it. Thank you for following all the same. Appreciate it as always. We're gonna say model, whoops, no, it's canvas. Var canvas in canvases. Var canvas in model.canvases. There we go. We're gonna create a canvas. We're gonna give it canvas.id. Canvas ID. Tom the Hun, welcome. Thanks for following. See, I caught it that time. Oh, and I think Darius was probably the one that followed before. Thank you. Lazarot, welcome. Hype, hype. Everybody hype, hype. So top is going to be... I'm assuming it's going to work okay if I do this. Canvas dot top y px. We'll find out what it does when I do that. So we're going to say canvas dot left x px there. And then this is at canvas width. Why is it not like these ones? Wait, what? 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 What's it smoking? Yeah, I think Razor's messing up. I think that's what that is. Alright, let me see if I can actually get rid of these. We should have an animation and a voting canvas. So we're going to try this. And I apologize, I just saved like 3 times, everybody. I need to exit this. I'm closing down the bots, Lazarus. Hang on, hang on. We'll bring it back in a second. Give me 1 sec. I have to restart the bot. I want to try this. Yet another Hungarian. Oh, yeah. No, we got a lot of awesome people in here from all kinds of different places. Build errors. What? Lies. Maybe I tried to build it before the project actually let go of that file. Looks like that was the case. Hang on, I'm bringing the bot back up. There we go. Bot is back online. We definitely are supposed to be creating these overlays in the right spot. Let me refresh this screen. So I need to refresh the overlay that's over top of the screen right here, because I want to make sure that it actually has these changes, since we made some real changes to things. And here's how we're going to test it. Step number 1. We try the hype command. Okay, so looks like the animation canvas got created as we expect. So that's the animation canvas. And you can see it like this. It's got derps and hypes all over it. The next thing we need to do is we need to vote on the important things. Primes, vote new primes, fibs, pi. So now we need to pick which sequence of numbers we are bigger fans of. This is highly important, everyone. How could you possibly go through life not deciding whether or not you like the sequence of prime numbers, Fibonacci numbers, or the sequence of numbers in pi? Clearly important stuff. Sourcify, glad to hear it. It's some good stuff here. Oh, good, someone voted for primes. I agree. Primes. We like primes. Alright, so looks like that one is working. So we'll end that as well. Sorry, I just killed it. I just ended the vote. And then last but not least, Hangman. Derp. That wasn't right. Hangman didn't work. Hangman did not work. That is not where Hangman goes. Uh-ohs. That didn't work. No, it didn't. Alright. Hang on. I'm turning off the actual overlay. We're going to use this one instead. Just for testing purposes. Inspect the page. What happened with these canvases? Oh, I bet that 780p space PX just didn't work. So I'm betting that's what got it. It just needs to not have the space there. Right? Yep, that moves it to the right spot. Okay. So we can't do it the cheater way I tried to do. Let me merge that while I'm there. Okay, so I need to not have that space, but the problem is if I do that, I run into that. So I am going to do this. So if you don't notice, what I'm doing is I'm wrapping in parens, which I think will work. So let me bring that page back up. So the overlay is here again. We're going to inspect that. Oh, it actually wrapped it. Okay. Nope, it hates me. I meant to do this, actually. I was wondering why it wrapped it. Still did it. Did it actually wrap it again? Yep, it's still wrapping it. What a punk! Alright. Do those values, that's actually my next question. Do those values need to be that? Whoops, that was an X, not a Y. Yep. Yep, apparently they do. Iliya1, have a good one. We'll see you when you get back. Burrito? Oh, yeah, Burrito was the... Yes, of course it was Burrito, S&B. You know, one of the greatest, Does HM need coins? No, Lazarus, it should not require coins to play Hangman. No, Cyrilash, it does not always pick Burrito. Although Burrito is a very good choice. Okay, so let's go fix this stupid thing. So how do we want to do this? We needed to actually put those right next to each other. We can run it. What the? Oh, because it thinks it's that now. So if we did this, that would work. Left plus px. Helps if you write it right. There we go. Refresh that. Now it actually puts it down where it goes. Good. Fixed. Okay, cool. Try at before px. Ferris, not sure what you mean. And Crows 4K, hello, welcome. Admiral Trap, we are working on some things with our chatbot right now, so we're currently changing a little bit with the overlay that's over our screen right now. And DarkZ00, welcome, hi. Hi everybody, welcome. Feel free to have a seat and enjoy the stream. We are about to try our overlay change that we just made, so first things first. Hype still works. Vote new ABC. Let's see, vote 1. Clearly A is the best. Vote end. No one else got to vote, only me, so I win. And then last thing. Yeah, that's right, I closed that vote almost immediately. No one else gets to vote. We're going to start up a quick Hangman game. And it starts in the right spot, so there we go. We are in some trouble. Lies. I don't know how to play this game, guys. What is that? Something? Whoa! What? Admiral Trap. Oh man, you're killing us there. Res. I don't know what that is. What is this word? WordPress. Okay, well, that'll do it. Alright, so I did see that our dimension restriction worked, so let's fix that a bunch. Because game over is ginormous now, when it says that. So let's go to the Hangman JS game. First off, we're going to commit these changes we just did here. So that is set up defaults and editing pages for those, and this will be the editing pages, which we will commit in a moment. But first thing is these. What even is that? Properties table? Overlay. We'll include the overlay. And then that's the link to that. So add canvas defaults and use on overlay. And that is creating the editing pages. Create canvas properties editing pages. And we can fix those up later, but for now they work. Admiral Trap, you are absolutely allowed to ask questions here. Sirlash, we don't have to play by the rules here. And S&B is correct, as long as it's not like an inappropriate question that I think people would be like, you know, bothered by here. Hangman, we did 300 pixels. That's probably a little big. We'll try 60 pixels on both of those and just see roughly how big they are. I'm going to restart the page, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be on the overlay page, so I can just turn off the actual overlay screen that's here so that I can actually view it. So if we start up a new Hangman game and we just do one of these, and I'm going to read your chat message in a second. It didn't get my change. I'll have to work on that. Okay, so Admiral Trap, what did you ask? I've been scripting in PowerShell for a good while, but I don't have a developer background. Coming from a sysadmin scripting toolmaking side, yes, lots of people in that boat. And I've started using some .NET stuff within PowerShell. That's awesome, Admiral Trap. Is .NET framework or is .NET a framework or .NET is a framework, and C# is the programming language that most people use when creating things in .NET Framework or .NET Core, which .NET Core really is a framework also. What's the best way to start learning .NET? Admiral Trap, one suggestion we have is the one that S&B just linked there in the chat room, which is you can join some of our stuff here, and that is our Learn to Code in C# series, where you can learn a lot about C#. Tonalization. Going to my first whiteboard interview in a few minutes. 32-year-old trying to make a career change after 9 years of public school teaching. Good luck, Tonalization. I hope it goes well. That is awesome. Programming is fantastic. One of the things that I will tell you is let people know what you know, and be willing to admit things you don't know, and do your best. So have a good one. Good luck. Okay, so why didn't that... Let me do an actual refresh here. Yeah, be honest really is one of the big things. We're not kidding. People can tell when you're being dishonest in developer interviews. Okay, so the first problem I'm noticing... Game over. There we go. Much smaller, much easier. That works. Okay, so one of the other problems I was noticing is that we don't quite fit with the yes, it is S&B. You hit the thing, but you didn't hit what's actually wrong. I will show you what's wrong. This width right here needs to be more than 600. Let's go with like 800. We're beyond that. We went beyond it. So let's adjust the default as well, so that it actually creates that. Set up database, canvas, It needs to be 800 at least. So it didn't fit. So that's why it cut off the. So I was using like ZXY, which was not in the list because it's the end of that line. Overlay. Alright, so bont's in there, HM. Did Z show up? It did. Okay, so now we have the full space, see? So it really was working, but we just had it hidden there. So that'll probably need a label on it at some point, but we do believe it is working. Change Hangman default to fit letter guesses. Okay. See. So your question boiled down to learning C#. Admiral, yes, we would recommend learning C#. So there are other things you can learn like F# and VB.NET as S&B mentioned, but for the most part, C# is a general and likely more useful language than VB is because you're going to find a lot more resources and answers for you in C# than you will in VB. So C#, definitely the choice we'd recommend here. I just thought that was my mistake. No, Jay Steph, that was not your mistake. That was me changing stuff here. You're good. You're good. You didn't break stuff. Sneaks in the back of the room. Floorboard squeaks. Hey, Will Bennett. Glad to see you're here. And good job announcing your presence in a very interesting way. Actually, let's finish off that Hangman game really quickly. Nope, it was Mushroom. We were never going to get that one. That one's one of the hardest ones in our list. Let me go ahead and turn this back on. Overlay, activate. There we go. The overlay is back on. Okay. There we go. Time to do horrible, horrible, awful things. Get status. Really? Really? That was up to date? Really? I'm surprised by that. Whoops. Position. No one saw a thing. What? I didn't do anything. What? Nothing happened. What do you mean? I'm learning to C#. That's awesome, Crimson Green. Energize. I am a newbie programmer. This stream is very helpful for me to keep it up. Oh, glad to be of assistance. And welcome. Hopefully you are enjoying all the code that we're writing. And I highly recommend... So, I really will be scheduling them, everybody. But if you are learning C#, learning to program anything like that, I really recommend that you run Visual Studio Code and follow along with us on our Learn to Code in C# streams. I think you will really enjoy them. Okay, so we can move these around now. I'm going to call that branch ready to go. We're going to run this one last time just to make sure it's not crazy. Crimson Green, that's awesome. That is awesome. We are going to be doing some Unity stuff on the stream here sometime starting... It's going to be next year, because there's enough stuff that we have to do finishing out the stream this year that we won't be getting to that. But really glad everybody's enjoying the stream. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. It is always fun. Okay. We're going to go ahead and send in this pull request. Hello. Changing canvas positions on overlay. Overlay. I can spell. There we go. So now we can actually move those around, put them in a spot that makes sense, and I think that'll be good. Next thing that I wanted to look at today is also related to that overlay, and this one's going to require I'm gonna call it like a ping hub or something like that, or a status hub. Ping hub? Do we even need it? We may not need it. So we aren't running any, we're not running a JavaScript framework that has really nice binding yet. So we're not doing anything like Vue or Angular or even like a Knockout or something like that. We don't have any of those in our code base right now. I'm starting to think that we might want to, only because of the specific code that we're implementing. I think we're going to want to start adding in JavaScript libraries onto this page. And yes, Will Bennett, the idea would be a ping-pong kind of approach, where we like ping the server and it responds back with pong, and if it does, then we know we're connected. But what I'm actually thinking instead is, since SignalR is already maintaining that sort of ping-pong communication connection, it's got the heartbeat concept in there, we might be able to bind to the SignalR and have it let us know when we're connected to the server. And that would sort of be an indicator of whether or not the bot is running. So, yeah. I wonder if someone may have already done this, actually. Bind to SignalR connection status. I'm just gonna try Googling that really quickly. 1 second, everybody. Hey, sorry about that. Okay, let me see. Oh, and thank you for that follow. Coming from Code Rush, let's see if you can impress me. Nice, Will Bennett. Loving the streams. You're a full stack developer, and you really love watching what you do as well. Thank you, Darksy. Really appreciate it. When in doubt, Google. Exactly, Will Bennett. No, it's one of the things that bugs me is people that are afraid to like Google something for fear that they're like, oh, they, you know, like smart people don't Google. It's like, no, smart people Google things. Like, and if you don't look to see did someone already solve this problem, then a lot of times you're really just wasting yours and everyone else's time. Ooh, I got my Pepsi sponsorship back. No, not sponsored, I was kidding. Although, I would love a Pepsi sponsorship. Will Bennett, so Googling in an interview should be totally legit because it is an important skill set, and knowing how to Google effectively is important. Okay. SignalR Hubs Guide. I don't think that's... Detect connection state on client. Yeah, this one is they're just wanting to do it to reconnect. We already have that piece. Let's see. Connection state changed. There we go. That's the one we could use. Let's tie it just onto the bot hub connection and not just any connection. Or we could do it as part of start hub connection, actually. We'll do it just based on the bot hub. I figure if that one's probably the main one since I named it as such. I think some of my code's wrong. Yeah, some of my code's definitely wrong here. And death packs, yeah, exactly. If developers that don't Google things, I don't know. We clearly can't trust them. Bot hub connection. State changed. This is the problem. I have 2 of these. I should have all of them. The Google's made me do it. Hang on. This of course reminds me of this that Steve and I did a bunch of years ago when we did our calendar thing. One of the images that we used, of course, is this one, and it's called the principle that we did was found on internet, and we have this awesome photo mixing up some concoction that was found on the internet, clearly safe to drink. Just for the record, no one drank what's actually in that. Just so we're clear. No one. Because no one was that stupid. There's still too much code in this file. About connection state changed, function state, state conversion, connecting, connected, reconnecting, console log. That is setting a console log based on that. I want to have some kind of display based on that somewhere on this page. Which I guess we can do this for now, and we'll take a look at what happens. So I'm going to run this bot. We're going to see if we get this. Basically, Will Bennett, I want to have some kind of like a stoplight style page, but won't be like a stoplight really. I want like a red circle, you know, for like connected. So for red circle for connected. Red circle for disconnected, green circle for connected. You know what I mean. I'm just being crazy for some reason. Gonna go over here. We're gonna bring this up so that we have the console running and can see it. Overlay. I'm going to do that before we start it, because that's smart. State changed is not a function. Really? The internet lied to me. Yes, S&B, like a recording indicator. That's kind of right, except not backwards, because, yeah, no. Red does not mean what you think it means. Connection, SignalR, endpoint, state, change, connection. This is probably regular SignalR, not SignalR Core, and that's why it's not here, isn't it? ASP.NET SignalR. ASP.NET Core, SignalR, SignalR, connection state. How did you learn programming terminology? That's a tough one. A lot of time spent programming over many years is about the only way that you can learn all the various programming technology. So it's just time and effort, and you'll pick it up. Was that your question from earlier? Sorry, I don't think I said that one. I must have missed it somewhere. Lots of stuff in the chat. So if I missed that, I apologize. Yeah, so just lots of time learning the various things. That's the best way to start learning what to Google. One of the other things is pay a lot of attention to other stuff. So learn from other developers. So watching the stream will help. Going to sessions at conferences, attending user groups, you'll learn a lot of the stuff that exists. So one of the best recommendations that I can give to anybody that is going to conferences, for example, when you attend a session, because sessions are only like an hour long, don't expect to actually learn the material. That's not the reason you're at the session. You are at the session to learn, number one, do I want to learn more about this topic? Number two, what things about this topic do I need to look up? So you're getting notes of what things I want to learn about in the future. And then number three is, just to get a breadth of an idea so that when you are looking it up later, you're then like, oh yeah, this is familiar. I remember seeing this. And he said something about that. And maybe some notes about some gotchas that you need to watch out for. So those are like the big three things. Is like, the tips to pay attention for, what to look up later, and lastly, firstly, is whether you're interested in the topic at all. And so those are the three things when you attend a session that you want to get out of it. You would say either a mentor or a school if you want to learn, if you want to do it fast, years of practice, and if you want to do it so. Yeah, that's other good advice. So you can absolutely learn a lot from other people attending school, things like that. There are boot camps as well if you actually want to learn programming and not just the terminology. That's awesome, S&B. Yes, Will Bennett's point is very true. If you want to become a great programmer, if that is one of your goals, the best suggestion that any of us can make is program more. Okay, direct connection state changes. We don't have automatic reconnects as the only state transaction. Expose a connection state. We should expose a connection state. So... Yeah, exactly. See, I don't want to store my own bool. That's what I was saying. I don't want to do that myself. I want them to just give me the thing that does it. Let's see. They've got to have one. This says done, but they didn't tell me what it is necessarily, unless it's this one. Hub connection.state. Nice. Does that actually exist? So, says that's the one that has it. Roughly speaking, this is how he wrote it. Is this just server side? I want in JS. Did they, someone said in JS. Hang on. Wait, this looks like it might do it. Docs. What's this? State. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna look and see if it's actually on here now. So I don't think we have this. I don't think that exists. So let's refresh this. Refresh the page. Where could we stop? Alright, hang on, let me see what's in chat first. Hangman Game, and then, hey, no problem for the answers. XUnit is not even a word. Alright. What did we want to do? We need a breakpoint. So let's take a look at sources.js and Hangman start right here. So I'm going to start up a Hangman game. That's not going to display right, by the way. Well, I guess it'll display right there, but not in here. Whatevs. Should display fine over there. It's going to get confused over here. So at this point, I should have access to that right here. Yes, it is. It's right here. Guess because we didn't pull it in. I don't get it. Alright, we'll remove these breakpoints. Renee, have a good one. Take care. And Will Bennett, that's ridiculous. New slogan for your mug of tea. I don't get it. I don't get it. Speaking of mugs, we got our clear mugs here where you have see-through dinosaurs. I'm coding. I'm not drinking tea today. It was too warm. Oh, where's a good stopping point? I want to see what this thing is changing. Alright, are do hype and do derp even in here? That's interesting. Let's see, this is /images /devcha hype emote.ping, and then this one is /images /devcha derp fail emote.ping. Okay, I need to have one of those available, so we're gonna make the bot hub connection available when we do a hype. Var that equals that. So now here on do blast, I'm going to toss a breakpoint. So for anyone who's wondering, I'm just doing that because I want to make sure that variable exists so that we have access to it at that point. So now when I attempt this, so first off, this should go crazy on the screen. It should be fine. So we are passing that in. Our hub connection should be available now, because we made it available. State undefined, status undefined. State connection state. Okay. Hub connection state of 1. I wonder what that means. I wonder what that means. SignalR hub connection state. So this is the C# SignalR client right here. I am betting that these are the same thing. If we look up the JS client instead, SignalR JS client docs. No results. What? Connection. Hub connection. There we go. Welcome. Thanks for that follow. Oh, you were here for a little bit, actually. Yes, the word was pepperoni. Spelling is required to actually get those words right. Start, stop, stream. Okay, new client redesign. And welcome, Derp Lord and whoever followed right before Derp Lord. Oh, that was Let's Get High. Or Tornado, welcome, thanks for following. Crimson Green can spell. And welcome everybody. If you are new here, feel free to hit that not subscribe, follow button, and you'll get notified when our stream goes live. I really want to see that state there, guys. Alright, we can merge that one in. Delete that branch, goodbye. Nine Dog, welcome, thanks for following. Okay, so clearly we're not getting that button wired up today because I'm not going to mess with this right now. Crimson Green, but you don't know your colors, your chat name is red. Crimson. Or no. You don't have to sub. You can sub if you want. But no, you don't have to sub. The follow button's how you get notified. The sub button is how you get access to awesome hype emotes. That's the difference. And an egg. So, well, you start out as an egg. You'll notice I'm a dinosaur. Crimson Green's also a dinosaur. Sub is how you follow on YouTube. Yes, Crimson Green, that's how you follow on YouTube. Okay, oh, dang it. Okay, you are totally correct, 9Dog9. I apologize, I need to fix that. That is totally on me. I will get that fixed. You are supposed to have access to those commands. There was a bug that came up, and I forgot I was going to fix that on this stream. So we're going to fix that one now. So this is a new branch that is going to be called Benric fix Hangman and end games. Yeah, sure. Last instead of hype and derp. Fix, publish, there we go. We'll send that out. So let's take a look at that bug. Why does it say you don't have permission? So that is on a simple command. Just for testing, 9Dog9, do me a favor. Try the coins command. Let's Get High, I used the command line earlier. I use them both. The reason why I use a GUI for Git on here is that we have a lot of people... Oh, perfect. Well done, 9Dog9. So, the reason why we use the Git GUI here is because it's a little nicer for the people that don't know the Git command line. So, I just use that because I don't want to leave anybody behind on it. So, but whenever we need to, we switch over to the command line. Whew, excuse me. Role required. Where is this used? Okay, so it does get assigned based on that value. It's going to be set to everyone. Yeah, Death Packs. A lot of people do like Git Crack, and I use this one because it's nice and clean and works pretty well, but there are a lot of great Git GUI solutions for anyone that wants one. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a breakpoint there. We're going to hop over to the command handler as well. Command received handler. Simple command. Where is it catching you? Don't have permission to use the... Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we're going to drop a breakpoint there. There's where it was. Okay, cool. Let's find out what's going on with this. So I want someone that is not a subscriber, not a mod, anything like that. Just someone that's a regular viewer of the channel. You can be a follower, that's not a problem. First off, I need to kill the bot, because it is hanging on for dear life as I try to replace it with a new version of the bot. So now that I have killed the bot, we will try this again. Okay. We don't need that. Okay, bot is running. Someone go ahead and try one of the commands like the YouTube or the Discord command or something like that. That's okay, Will Bennett. You don't have to. Someone else will, see? Some people here like to support the channel, Will. Alright, bot command. YouTube. Role required. Subscriber. Why is it saying subscriber? Did that come from the database that way? Wait, hang on. It did. It did. Null, null, null. No. Okay, so that's all it was. So there wasn't anything all that interesting. Give me mod. Nice. Yeah, there is no give me mod command. Okay, so cool. Sorry about that. I'm restarting the bot now. So bot should be running again. So now you should be able to run it, everybody. So there we go. That ought to fix it. And sorry, I had the bot like blocked there, so it wasn't actually gonna do anything. Manual update. Guys, do you have any idea, like, the amount of time to just click through those versus do a quick update statement? It would have been exactly the same. And it's just my data for those. Those are not specific to the bot, so if anyone downloads a copy of this bot and runs it themselves, they won't actually have any of that data, so I don't need to do anything maintaining those for them. So the main thing we do work on here on the stream is the DevChatter bot. However, we like to do one stream a week where we're doing either katas or programming exercises or something like that. And we also do a series called Learn to Code in C#. And then there's also a series of episodes where we are working on a game tracker program, which is an ASP.NET Core application that uses Vue.js for the front end. And we are building that as just kind of a learning sort of project. So, and there you go. Will Bennett is correct. I will have a guest this Saturday, so Mike Eaton will be joining us this Saturday. So instead of doing our regular solid Saturday where I talk about some kind of a good principle that we want to all follow, instead we'll just be pair programming with Mike using VS Live Share. So if you haven't seen that, that is pair programming on like the best way possible. He'll actually be in here with his own cursor and able to edit along with us. No, guys, I did not make commands in the bot to, you know, mine bitcoins or steal credit cards. No, didn't do those ones. Yes. See, one of the nice things is when you start getting all the kappas in the chat, it always gets funny. Alright, don't need to be in here messing around with any of that stuff anymore. We said, screw it. We're not going to make that work. Bear that. Hype and fail after Hangman Game. Trigger, hype, and fail after Hangman Game. Okay. That ought to work. Let's refresh it on the page so we actually see it over here. So, properties, refresh. There we go. All refreshed. What do you think about those new Google icons on the blank page? They annoyed the crap out of me, Will Bennett. It really bugged me that they did that. E is at the beginning of the word. We can't have that many words that start with the letter E. Oh. Oh, I know what it is. There it is. Bonk. No, Will Bennett, it was Emacs, not emails. There we go. We got it. And the hype triggered at the end. So, confirmed, that's there. I went for that too. Notice I guessed the I. And turns out it was not emails. And now you know why I don't play every time, 9dog9. Not 9dog9dog? I don't know what 9dog9dog means, to be honest. Will, hey, wait, hang on. Will Bennett, it is not rigged. I have a quote right there. That quote proves it is not rigged. Oh, yeah, it could be a canine thingy. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Didn't think about that, Will. Could definitely be that. Okay, cool. Hang on, everybody. There we go. Also, no, it doesn't have any meaning in English. Oh, it has no meaning in English. Okay, well, there you go. I assume Will Bennett is asking 9dog9 dog where you're from. Although Will might be asking me where I'm from. You should clarify on that one, Will. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. See, Will knows where I'm from. Yeah, see, it didn't make much sense to ask me. That's why I was wondering. Because I'm like, I think Will might actually know where I'm from. Oh, yeah. That's true, Will Bennett. Yes, Hund. Hang on, everybody. Bot's just struggling to get started here. I gotta go mess with that startup a little bit more still. There's a couple of things that we do at startup, connecting to some APIs and things like that. If that doesn't go well, then, you know, the bot fails to start. And that's all that is. So, don't give all your stuff away. That's a bad idea. but command works again, so sudo works. There you go. Yeah, so the idea would be that if you try like a sudo make me an admin, you know, it'll just respond back with kappa. So there you go. Oh yes, you could just do a... There you go. Cool. Well... couple of things that I want to mention because someone brought it up. On Saturday, that is 2 days from now, we are going to have a guest on the stream. So this is my schedule that I usually just use to make sure that we've got guests, but if there are any planned streams, any events, things like that coming up, you'll find them here. And this is like the upcoming planned streams. So as I mentioned, we have Mike Eaton is going to be here on Saturday to do some streaming with us. And then next Tuesday, we're also going to have Jonathan Knapp join us. Now next week, we're actually going to have at least the October 4th stream is going to be canceled, but we may also cancel this one. I'm not 100% sure on that one. We'll see how that goes. But that is the current plan. We also have some other stuff planned up ahead. We have a guest appearance with Guy Royce coming onto the channel. We're going to do some machine learning stuff with Guy, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we're going to have some guy doing machine learning stuff with us. And that should be a really good stream, so we'll see how that one goes. Either way, I want to wrap a little bit early today because I've got a bunch of stuff to do. As you may have noticed, if you are watching on the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the screen there, funny, it's my left. On the right-hand side of the screen there, you'll probably see things that say stuff like checking out my courses on Pluralsight or DevIQ. And I'm also going to make sure that I announce any conferences I'm going to be at so you have the chance to go. I will be at Tech Bash, so if anyone else is going to be at Tech Bash, you can find me there. And I will be giving a couple of interesting talks, one on C#, and one actually... that is a really weird one. I'm talking about coding live streams. Now, I think a lot of you get the idea, but the two things that I want to cover is I want to talk about what coding live streams are, why people would be interested, and why they should get involved in coding live streams and attend them, as well as explaining the basics of getting started and what you'd need to do to start live streaming if you are interested. So that is one of the talks that I'm going to be giving at Tech Bash next week. What other stuff do we want to mention? If anyone is in here and you enjoyed any of the stream that you saw today, make sure you click that follow button to get notified when we go live next. And that next is going to be this Saturday. If you want to know when our stream schedule is, because I do schedule 4 times a week, the best way to do that is to ask our bot for our schedule, and it will put it in the time zone of whatever place you ask for. Now, obviously, that's within reason because it needs to be able to figure out what place you have. So if you try what Will Bennett just did and tell it to give it its best guess, it will not give you an answer that is all that useful. But if you were to say something along the lines of California, it would give you the schedule for California. And you could see that on Saturdays, I start the stream at 10 a.m. So that command should have permissions that would allow anyone to run it. So you can check the schedule if you like. Also, you can find that information down below. 9dog, thank you for the 100 biddies, much appreciated. So the next thing I wanted to mention, as Will Bennett alluded, if you want to support the streams, the best ways you can do that is to let people know about the stream, to show up and watch. You can follow the stream if you like. You are also able to subscribe to the stream, which is a great way to support the stream and make it easier for me to do this as often as I do. And, you know, keep the wife acceptance factor quite high there. The hype emotes that you get are quite fun, so that's one of the reasons why I encourage subscribing to the channel, because it is fun when people spam all these hype emotes in the channel when exciting stuff happens. And then also, no, actually, my wife is a fan of the stream, and does support me, but it's more the idea that if I put in massive hours to the stream, and, you know, like, I could see her eventually getting annoyed by that one. So, it's nicer if I'm actually making some kind of money off of this instead of, you know, not. No, actually, she does not have her own stream. But anyway, Rubik's, hi, welcome. You snuck in here. See, unlike Will Bennett, you knew how to sneak in without creaking that floorboard in the back. Other interesting things that I want to mention. If you are so inclined, we have awesome, like, merch stuff. So, anybody that wants to pick up awesome DevChatter mugs, stickers, anything like that, we now have those available. I thought you said you did bots for her stream. No, Will Bennett, that's someone else that does bots for his wife's stream. That is not me. And then also, there is a Patreon for anyone who is so inclined and wants to, you know, support the stream in, you know, ways that are more interesting. One of the ones I want to figure out, so the share button, the VS Live Share, which if you haven't seen that, that's how you can collaborate remotely with people through Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. It is really freaking neat. One of the things that I want them to do is add in a feature so that we can have a little bit more security. Once they get me that, I'm going to start allowing people to... I'm going to make it so that our Patreons, one of the rewards that they get is actually to let us bring them into the stream and be seeing the code live. So they can actually go around, and if I'm inside the command handler, they could look at what's going on in the simple command. So if I made a change and switch files, they don't have to follow me. They could be watching anywhere else. They can also click a button to anchor to wherever I am. So that's the goal. Should be quite fun. Will Bennett, yeah, that's possible. She might have made a suggestion for something. She probably did, and I probably implemented whatever she suggested, because she's very smart. Anyway, as people probably guessed, we are wrapping the stream for today. I'm going to end a little bit early, which I know our usual start time is only 40 minutes before now. But, obviously on Thursdays I start early, so I think you'll survive. You only have to wait. It is not 48 hours, it is only like 46, it's less than 46 and a half hours, guys. We'll be back to another stream soon. I think you'll all survive. It should be fun. As I mentioned, our next stream we'll have Mike Eaton here, and we'll be pair programming together, so it'll be a blast. Take care, everybody. Happy coding. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, and I forgot to click this button. One more button. Look. Credits. So, Twitchloft, 9Dog9, and Sourceify, thank you for the biddies. Much appreciated. Crimson Green, Mike Eaton, and people that aren't there. S&B was here earlier also, and all of these nice followers. Thank you very much for following today. I had fun, we wrote some interesting code, and hopefully we will see all of you back on Saturday. So take care, enjoy the start of your weekend, and happy coding. Bye everyone.